Thank you, Chair, and Your Excellencies, for the opportunity to speak today on behalf of SAM, Smart Approaches to Marijuana. My name is Kevin Sabet. We come to the Commission this year with both hope and concern. Our hope lies in the direction given by the Hyannis Consensus, a blueprint for effective drug policy newly introduced today by international experts and organizations declaring a new path forward based on prevention, treatment, recovery, criminal justice, global cooperation, and supply reduction, this balanced approach. This approach simultaneously rejects the push to normalize drug use. And that is where a grave concern that we have, however, lies, both in terms of the unprecedented human toll of addiction, which is reaching catastrophic levels in many regions, and in the policies some are crafting to confront this challenge. As countries reassess their commitments, funding levels, and activities around global and national drug policy institutions, we urge them to remember that the most cost-effective and humane way out of the scourge of addiction is an investment in the pillars of the Hyannis Consensus has laid out. We cannot abandon our obligations and just expect our problems will disappear. These pillars revolve around prevention, intervention and treatment, recovery, global cooperation, supply reduction, and criminal justice. Our North Star must always be to discourage drug use in the first place, or what some call drug-free goals. This is a noble vision, even if it may not be perfectly attainable in the near future. Now, we all strive for a society free of poverty, free of conflict, free of prejudice. Why not free of drugs? Let's not lower the bar. We come this year extremely concerned about heightened global rhetoric regarding the legalization of all drugs beyond cannabis, including cannabis, but also beyond it, and the idea that we can safely use and regulate these addictive substances. These actions, encouraged by some governments here today, violate both the spirit and letter of the Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs and threaten international cooperation. We must reject false dichotomies of criminal justice versus public health, legalization versus criminalization, harm reduction versus treatment. Now, on this last point, of course, we should embrace interventions that reduce harm, but harm reduction should be a means to an end of recovery. It cannot be just the end. We need to not only meet people where they are, but not leave them where they are. Furthermore, we are seeing the catastrophic effects of the legalization of cannabis and psychedelic drugs in North America, especially in our young people, and the increasing drumbeat in Europe and Africa. Let's be clear, legalization is about one thing: enriching private businesses at the cost of public health. We will not get rid of cartels by legalizing drugs, as they have with the industries of mining and logging and other legal industries. They will infiltrate the legal business and make our institutions and elected leaders corrupt. We now know that the legalization industries have set up private equity firms and fundraising businesses to attract investors and promote items such as candy, soda, oil, and other products that appeal to young people. We want to especially applaud the efforts of Thailand, the efforts of the new government in Germany, the efforts of the United Kingdom, and other countries that are sensibly reversing and pushing back against these harmful policies. In the United States, even, the media has recently picked up on the harms. Just today, an article in the Wall Street Journal about the harms of the drug trade, primarily the cannabis trade. Moreover, we stress that an international legal drug industry is likely to leverage bilateral and multilateral commitments and challenge public health regulations across the globe. It has been an epic failure for alcohol, a disaster for tobacco. Why would any other legal drug be different? There is now a growing tidal wave of backlash to permissive drug policies that we are happy to report. Now is the time to seize the moment and reaffirm our commitments to policies that actually actively discourage use. These can be found in the drug court model. These can be found in other models within our criminal justice system and public health system. A final note, we want to make sure that although there is a drug crisis, this is not simply a poisoning drug crisis or a toxic drug crisis. All drugs are toxic. There are no non-toxic, addictive, illegal drugs. Drugs are poison by definition. Increasingly, these synthetics are not responding to reverse medications like naloxone, And it's much more about stopping fatal overdoses. We want to stop non-fatal overdoses too. In Europe, for every 1 fatal overdoses, there are 20 non-fatal overdoses that can lead to brain damage, lifelong disability, and hopelessness. We should begin after we revive somebody with moving them on to a life free of drugs and hope. So we request that member states follow the international drug conventions, reassert their commitment to the UNODC and other member organizations within the United Nations, because the public is demanding something better than condemning people to a lifetime of chemical slavery. The opportunity has never been bigger, and the mandate has never been more clear. Thank you, Chair.